lovelies. Another cosy cottage chat for you. And it's autumn, very autumnal here in Cornwall, and I just love it. It's although we've had a lot of rain, I don't love that. But what I do love is the beautiful, misty, quiet, gorgeous, still days, mornings, and days, as if the garden and all nature is just winding down for the winter. That's what it reminds me of when it's still and beautiful. And it's not, it is getting a little bit cooler, but it's not cold here in Cornwall. But it is cold enough for the jumpers to come out. All my lovely jumpers. I do like jumpers, don't you? In the winter and the autumn. And layers. I like a lot of layers. Anyway, I was quite a little bit surprised at the outcome of my ancestral regions, you know, where I've come from, and all my ancestors have come from. Was a little bit surprised. But anyway, I would suggest, if you want a bit of fun, to do the ancestry, you know, the regions, the DNA, in other words, and they give you the regions that your family all originated from. It's really good fun. And I got it on sale. It was only about, what, £39, £38, because they had a sale on. So you could look out for that. It's a lot more expensive if you don't get it on sale. But look out for the sales. Keep checking for the sales. And it's great fun. They came back. They say that you'll get the results within 4 to 6 weeks. Well, I got it in 4 weeks and 2 days. So that wasn't too bad. And I thought it was all going to come from America, that I would have to send it out to America and get it back from America. For some reason, I don't know why I thought that, but I did. And but it wasn't. My kit came from Ireland. So anyway, so what you do is you get the kit, and all you give them the basics. You don't give them any information really. You just give them your name and address and your age. I think that's all. And anyway, got the kit back, and there's a little vial that you spit into, and there's also another little bottle that you add to that. I think it's a preservative. You just add it to the thing and send it back. And as I said, I got the results in it. The anticipation is fun, really, you know, waiting for it to come back. Anyway, yeah, I was surprised. And with it, I'll tell you where I originate from in a minute. But with it, I got an offer to do the ancestry, trace your relatives and everything. And it was really dirt cheap, and you get it more or less free, really, for 3 months. But after that, it's a little bit pricey, to be honest. A month they charge you. But anyway, so I decided to do it, and I've done my ancestry, and it's absolutely fascinating. But I'll get back to the DNA. So I don't really know what I was expecting, to be honest. I don't know what I was expecting, but anyway, I got it back, and I'm 74% English. I'm 11% Irish, 10% Scottish, 2% Welsh, and what I was surprised at, I had no idea, I am 3% Swedish. I hadn't a clue. If you'd have asked me to guess, I would have said Spanish, maybe Italian, something like that. And only because all my sisters and my aunties and everybody has very, very dark hair. But apart, when I was younger, I had really dark hair. But apart from that, I never suspected Swedish in a million years. But anyway, so I was quite pleased with that. And on my dad's, it gives you your mother and your father's DNA that make up your DNA, regions I'm talking now. So my dad's was 100%, no, he wasn't 100%, he was 97% English, not even Scottish or Welsh or Irish, English, and 3% Swedish. So 97% and 3%. And on my mother's side, she was English, Irish and Scottish and Welsh. So the Scottish and the Welsh and the Irish came from my mother's side. Very, very, very interesting. I would never have known that. So I started to do the actual tracing your ancestors. And I found it incredibly easy because lots of people have contributed to the database, lots and lots of other people that are involved with my family. And so a lot of the work has been done. And a lot of people like to, they spend years doing the family tree and also researching documents, marriage certificates and death certificates and church and council records. They spend that's their big hobby. Well, I haven't got time for that. It is a lovely hobby, mind, but I've got so many other things I do, with the painting and gardening and doing these vlogs, that I don't have time for that. So I would think it's a really time-consuming hobby. But anyway, I didn't get anywhere at all on my father's side. I just got to the grandparents, and I'll tell you why, and then it stopped. And I'll tell you why. It's an intriguing little tale. But on my mother's side, I got back to 1513. That is incredible. And it was fascinating. Some of the names, really old-fashioned, lovely names, talking in the 17th century and upwards. And one of them was called like George Mallon, surname. And there was all kinds of strange names, but lovely, really lovely names. If I'd have known that when I had my son, I would have called him his middle name Mallon. It's Mannon, Mallon. I love that name when I saw it there. But anyway, got right back. And some of the ancestors were, I just did all the greats, and I got back to something like my, can't remember now, 17th great grandparents. So I didn't do, like, there's no point in me doing it because I wasn't interested in that, but like their siblings and then their siblings and so on and so forth. I just did all the great grands all the way up to 1513. And what they do is they give you, like they say, could this person, they give you hints, they call them hints. Could this person be this person who was married to that person and the children were, that person? They give you the names. So it's quite easy to do it. Some of them didn't have any idea of their parents, but most of them did. And I managed to get back to 15, 13, which will do me. That's, you know, and I printed it all off and got, you know, like a little file on my computer with all the details. And as you go back, you can get, say like great-great-grandmother. You can click on her profile and it will tell you when she was born, when she died, who she married, and who her children were. So, and I luckily had a photograph of my great-grandmother, Elizabeth, and she's all decked out in proper Victorian clothes, you know. So I had that, and there was no photographs in the archives, you know, in the ancestry archives. So I've added that photograph. Yeah, so I've contributed something to the family tree so that other family members can look and you know, they've got a photograph now which they didn't have before. And on the DNA side of it, it tells you who your DNA matches, gives you the names and everything, and it gives you and photographs if they've put a photograph on of themselves, and most of them had. I did as well. And it tells you, it goes from first cousin that have done the same as I have, you know, had the DNA test, and it tells you who they are, and that you can even message them if you wanted to. And you can look on their family tree, and obviously first cousins, it's going to be my grandmother and my not my grandmother, but my great grandmother was her great grandmother too, because her father would have been a brother of my grandfather. Her grandfather, rather, would have been a brother to my grandfather. So their great grandmother would be the same. Very interesting. Very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would recommend it as a lovely bit of fun to do for yourself and to find out. I mean, I was really, really surprised. Never in a million years would I thought they were Swedish. It's those Vikings, you see. Way back, the Vikings. They got everywhere, those Vikings, I'm telling you. But anyway, but the reason I couldn't get back on my father's side was because I got to my grandfather and grandmother on his side. That was it. Could not get any further. And I know why. Because there were rumours, and, you know, it's been sort of family tales, if you like, that my great-grandfather changed his name from Dunn, D-U-N-N-E, possibly, not sure. Could have been D-U-N-N or D-U-N-N-E. And he changed it to Vickers, which is my name, my dad's name, or my brothers and sisters' names, surname. And the reason I've heard about 4 different stories, so I have no idea why he did it. One story was that this would be World War One, I should think, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's going to be World War One. He was conscientious objector. He absconded from the army, and he didn't even go in the army. He was supposed to go in, and I don't know, but it was to do with the army. And he sort of made himself scarce, and he changed his name from Dunn to Vickers, his surname. So that's one story. Another story is that he embezzled some money from somewhere, and to avoid getting caught, he made himself scarce and changed his name. Second story. Then there were two other stories, and they were really ridiculous. One of them was something about him saving, somebody saved his life. I think he was in difficulties in the water, and somebody saved his life, and he got very friendly with them, and they were lifelong pals, and he changed his name to Vickers. I don't know about that one. It's a bit, don't know about that one. And the other one, can't even remember what it was. It was so stupid. So anyway, yeah. So that is why I couldn't get any further than Grandma and Grandad on Dad's side. Couldn't get any further. I wouldn't, would I? Because the name is totally different. The answer, like, they tell you who you're, say like my grandmother, they give you hints on who her parents were. And the same with my grandfather. And they give, no hints whatsoever because they didn't have the name. Vickers was the wrong name, wasn't it? Anyway, there you are. So, hope you enjoyed our little chat. The evenings are closing in now, aren't they? So there'll be lots and lots of different little chats going on. But I thought you'd like to hear about that because I was so excited about it. It's a lovely feeling, I never thought of it like this, but it's a lovely feeling knowing where your ancestors came from. There's just something nice and just something nice about it. There's something very calming about it. No secret. It's like finding out a secret. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's like finding out a secret or some secrets that are, within your family. It's, I'm so glad I did it, really am. The DNA I'm talking about now. I mean, the ancestry, that was just, I did it because it was more or less, it was sort of almost free, really. I think it was £1. That's just a carrot, to dangle a little carrot so that you can, and I must admit, it's a great hobby. You could go on forever. You could keep going, because when you get to, like I did, 15, 13, I hit a brick wall then, but these people that do it as a hobby, what they do then is they start researching church records and council records and marriage and deaths and, that kind of thing. They research, and the further you go back, honestly, I made copies of the records, and they're all in, you can hardly read it. It's like Old English. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? 1500s. It's all in Old English, but you see the name there that you're looking for. The name you can usually pick out. But the rest of it, it's very difficult to decipher what they're talking about. But you do know it's either birth, death, or marriage, because it told you that from the archives, all the records tells you it's births, deaths, and marriages. But when it comes to it, it's all handwritten in very fancy calligraphy, sort of thing, script anyway. And but you do see the name that you could, that you're searching for. But yeah, so it could be, you could go on and on and on and on and on looking at records, and who knows how far you could get back. I mean, I wonder when they started. I could Google that actually. I wonder when they started actually keeping records as such. It can't have been much more than 15, further back than the 1500s. I shouldn't think. For ordinary people, obviously the aristocracy and royalty and what have you, that's different. But the ordinary peasant type person, I wonder when they started keeping records for them. And some of the names, they've not got the surname, they've just got the Christian name. They haven't got the surnames. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. So I'll leave it there. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you again soon. Meanwhile, lots of love from the land of mist and legend. See you next time.